Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Al Shah Bashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to title this video, We Should Only Deal with the Elect, or what we feel are the elect, and not to the other Israelites. We should not be dealing with them, period. Anyway, this is a video that was put up actually an hour ago. This is probably a video from maybe yesterday or a couple of days ago. It wasn't a live video, but it says here the title is put up by Cross the Line Radio. You should be familiar with Captain Tazariak and Captain Katazak. Debate on the fulfillment of the virgin birth. Now I'm going to let you listen, and this is why we shouldn't waste our time with any Israelite that's coming with some nonsense. Coming with the virgin birth. I want to sit down and have a debate. We don't have debates. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll have a debate with you if you pay us $50,000 and have like the grape debate. If anybody want to have it, any of y'all, whether you're Israel or non-Israel or whatever, just using that as an example, you gotta pay me 50,000, 50 racks, and you can't have a peanut gallery in the audience that don't know nothing, bunch of ignoramuses in the audience. You have to have Edomite biblical scholars in the audience, people that know the Bible, that deal with the etymology of the word, the history, understanding the Hebrew words, the Greek words. We don't want no peanut gallery in the audience, like it's Showtime at the Apollo. Put your hand over one good. Did they win? Boo! Did they win? Yay! No, we don't want that. We want Edomite scholars. So you're gonna have to pay them. That's a lot of money. In other words, I'm saying in a roundabout way, kick rocks. Better yet, eat rocks. So I'm just gonna let you hear, and I got a handful of precepts. So listen up.
Ain't got no echo now?
Yeah, no echo.
All right, perfect. All right, go ahead, brother. So
Yeah,
you can start all over that way they can hear what you said.
all right.
I know
So
what
I was inboxing Sakari. So I was talking to Hassad for the most part about the virgin birth and the details, and we going over we're inboxing like certain patches with each other. So after a while, I felt like I answered some of his questions, so he ended up like ghosting me. So I'm like, all right, hey, what was that about? We even Facebook called each other, and I had corrected him, which he acknowledged, and I never heard from him again. I hit him up, he won't even acknowledge the inbox, like he just straight ghosted me. So this is why I said, hey,
yeah, he deemed you as a persona non grata. Let's look that up. Persona, new word for your vocabulary. Persona non grata. Persona non grata. An unacceptable or an unacceptable or unwelcome person. So if you perceive somebody to be a 2/3, he becomes, to you, he's a persona non grata. In diplomacy, a persona non grata is a foreign diplomat who is asked by the host country to be recalled to their home country. If the person is not recalled or requested, the host state may refuse to recognize the person uh, concerned as a member of the diplomatic mission. Better definition is an unacceptable or unwelcome person. He was persona non grata with the regime. What does persona non grata mean in slang? A person who is unacceptable or unwelcome. What happens if you are persona non grata? A person so declared is considered unacceptable and is usually recalled to their home nation. In the case of a diplomat, if not recalled, the meaning state, the receiving state may refuse to recognize the person concerned as a member of the mission. A person can be declared persona non grata before that person even enters the country. Yeah, we don't want that guy. When you ban somebody from a country, he's a well, Tariq Nasheed says that every once in a while. If you listen to him, he said he was banned from going to England. So what they deemed him as is a persona non grata. Rendered persona non grata if someone becomes or is declared persona non grata, they become unwelcome or unacceptable because of something they have said or done. The government has declared the French ambassador persona non grata in order and ordered him to leave the country. So now you understand. You can add this to your vocabulary. See, this guy is right off the bat. He's a persona non grata. Deacon Hassad or Hassad, whatever his title is, well, you're gonna hear. He's gonna say you got to pay me $1,000 or whatever. He basically told you to kick rocks, meaning he made you a persona non grata. You know, somebody said, "When we gonna get together?" Oh no, when you if you say to somebody, I give you an example. When we got kicked out of the house of David, was a week or two later, they wanted to call us back in. They sat down. We're going to sit down. We're going to have over the Cornelius Council, and these guys that kicked us out came up to the school, and they were talking about, well, we letting you guys back in. We're gonna bury the hatchet and so forth, and brothers now. And then so they said, well, we got to set up a date as to when we're going to meet. So I made the statement. I said, don't call us, we'll call you. And you know what that means. Don't call us, we'll call you, meaning you're never going to get the call from us. I could have said, yeah, we'll be over there on December 32nd, 2029. That's another way of saying we don't want to deal with y'all. Kick rocks. Eat rocks. So let's listen. So everybody that you would, if you don't think they're potentially a party elect, you give them the cold shoulder. Tell them to kick rocks. Tell them to eat dirt cakes.
Man, I'm gonna go to Side.net and just call out. I even called in Deacon's show while he was live. I had a little sparring session with him. It didn't
See,
go well.
me listen to this dude's voice is like listening to fingernails on the chalkboard. I don't. He wouldn't have went this. What is this? A minute in, he wouldn't have went 15 seconds with me. I would have got him off the phone. Let me come on back and let you hear it again.
Ain't got no echo now?
Yeah, no echo.
All right, perfect. All right, go ahead, brother. So you
Yeah,
can
so
start all over that way they can hear what you said.
all right.
I know
So
what
I
sounds.
was inboxing Sakari. So I was talking to Hassad for the most part about the virgin birth and the details, and we going over we're inboxing like certain patches with each other. So after a while, I felt like I answered some of his questions, so he ended up like ghosting me. So I'm like, all right, damn, what was that about? We
He
even
deemed you in persona non grata. You're a non-person. You don't exist to him in his world.
we even Facebook called each other, and I had corrected him, which he acknowledged, and I never heard from him again. I hit him up, he won't even acknowledge the inbox, like he just straight ghosted me. So this is why I say, hey man, all right, I'm gonna go to Sitenet and just call out. I even called in Deacon
And
Show.
how does Sonetta get in the middle of this? Sonetta's not an Israelite. He's just a dude that hosts all kind of bugged out doctrines. He shouldn't be in the. But you know what? You got Captain Cesariak. He's cool with him. I wouldn't be cool with that guy because he doesn't teach the same things that we teach. Being an Israelite, he questions everything. When you constantly question, like you have a woman, right? You constantly questioning her about her sleeping around. You know what they want? He said, "You keep doing that, I am going to wind up sleeping around." I'm just giving you an example. This guy Sadnetta, he'll have Captain Zariak on to have a debate with somebody, and then oh yeah, Captain Zariak is a man. He straightened this guy out, but then a week later he's talking shit about Captain Zariak. I wouldn't have no type of actually, Sonetta is a persona non grata. All right.
Show while he was live, I had a little sparring session with him. It didn't go well for me either. So I'm like, all right, he ghosted me. So I'm like, all right, damn. So I went on Sunday TV and said, well, let me call out y'all leader then. Since y'all keep ghosting me, I don't want to make these discussions public. Let me talk to y'all leader then. So that's what happened. So now he hops on, and then he hops on to just decline publicly. It's like, dude, just don't even just answer. So when he declined publicly, everybody was like kind of confused. He said he wanted $2,000 to talk to me or debate me. So.
Okay, he said I wanted $2,000. I want $50,000. I want 50 racks. Okay, in other words, he's saying you want to talk, it's going to cost you. I'm not even going to waste my time with you. Kick rocks, eat rocks. I would have said 50, the great doctrine, you want to have debate, 50 racks, plus only no peanut gallery off the street, but actual Edomite biblical Bible scholars.
Or $1,000, something crazy. So then Sanetta recommended you, and I know you be debating, and I was like, all right, I'll debate Captain, but the person who I really wanted was the loudmouths, the people who do all the talking trash and all the lies. They would debate anybody, So
in other words, he settled for Captain Tazariak. He said, I can't get with these guys are champ. These guys in Shikari are the real champs. I want to go against the world champs, so I can't get to them. Let me go to the second tier. That's what he does. He just dissed the captain. Like I said, 50 racks, no peanut gallery, and Edomite Bible scholars.
And we had like a little sparring session. I'm like, all right. So now let me just say for your title, I wouldn't mind your
ass. I just want you to know.
Say that again.
I said I whipped your ass. I just want you to know.
Nah, but look, I wouldn't mind your title.
I didn't pick your title.
Okay.
Yeah, that I thought you picked the title. Okay. I just agreed to it.
Yeah, so
I come to the conclusion that this guy is definitely not one of the elect. Now, could he eventually, the Most High, open up his eyes and he's ultimately elect, but his mind is still closed? Maybe. He sounds like an Israelite. But at this point, to me, he's not one of the elect. So why would I waste my time with somebody that I feel is not of the elect? Now, they could be the elect. But if you come with this nonsense, man, I'm definitely going to consider you a no person.
I said, I wouldn't even mind that title. It's the same title you did with vocab. I wouldn't even mind that, but the problem is...
And that was a stupid debate. Vocab and Captain Zariak having a debate about the birth of the... I'm not going to have the birth. And with vocab, it's 100 racks. and Edomite scholars. No peanut gallery.
The only issue is I would like to debate one of them on the actual virgin birth if it ain't you. So if they're not going to accept it, then I would like to debate the virgin birth and just, you know, put that away, archive that, and then I could do the vocab discussion you had with him. Cause I felt
But
like,
you got to back that up. You got to back up.
yeah,
You saying you don't want to debate that title. You just want to debate virgin birth, meaning like
I'm saying I could do both, but I would rather it be
it's the
virgin
same.
birth
You
first.
saying virgin birth without the term prophecy in there? Like I'm trying to understand what you mean.
So when you and vocab debated,
Mm-hmm.
was that more so prophecy or fulfillment?
No, the title of that debate was "Is Joseph?" Let me see if I could look it up. That was on Garfield's channel, I believe. It was like "Is Jesus the son of Joseph according to biblical prophecy?"
Right. There you
Right.
go. Yeah. So y'all's more so debating the prophecy and less so the fulfillment.
No, well, okay. So now the reason why that title was in there because it covers both sides. So it's still like vocab was still able to do the virgin birth, but like he had to destroy the logic that Joseph is not the biological father. And if he could substantiate the virgin birth according to what he believes a virgin is, then he would win. If I would establish that Joseph is the biological father of Jesus according to prophecy, I would win. So maybe it should be for and okay. And the reason why I have an issue with the word virgin birth being in there is because I don't deny that Mary was a virgin. I just deny that Mary, just because she had sex, she wasn't a virgin. Like my definition of virgin is what the Israelite definition of virgin is, which is a young woman of marriageable age, whether she's had sex or not.
Good point. Because the word virgin in Isaiah is ilama, which means she was a virgin, but when she got pregnant, she was still considered a virgin. After Joseph slept with her. Now, if she had a birth of the Lord without having sex, the word in Isaiah would be Batwala and not Ayalama or Ailama. So this is why it's going to cost you 50. Look, you know what? I up the ante. It's 100 racks, no matter who it is. Not just vocab. It's well now it's 150 racks for vocab. But to you, anybody else, 100 racks and a room full of Edomite biblical scholars, no peanut gallery.
So,
Okay, I understand.
you know what I'm saying? So,
So how about something like, is Joseph the biological father of Jesus?
that's. But you just don't want prophecy in there.
No, well, because it's going to take away from uh, the focal point because people want to know. Some people already picked a side, but some people are actually neutral and like they're like they heard both arguments.
Well, the neutral people, if they don't get it, they're gonna wind up in that Tesla on fire, screaming, weeping and gnashing of teeth, like the dude in the video. You're gonna wind up here. Let me show you where you're gonna wind up. If you don't get this whole truth, you're gonna wind up like this guy. Well, he's in the spiritual realm, so he's good. He's good. He's good right about now. Bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute, please. Okay, let me just go to it. You're gonna wind up like this guy. And a pill. Gonna have a lot of window shoppers going to their. You're gonna wind up like this guy. So listen up. I meant to say square miles. And may the Most High have mercy on your soul. Homeboy right here ain't thinking about whether King David had brown sandals or black sandals, whether it was fringes on it on the sandals. He ain't thinking about whether if our Lord had open toe sandals or closed toe sandals. He wasn't thinking about. I wonder what the Lord's favorite color is. He ain't thinking about that way. That he's not thinking about Joseph and Mary right about now. That's no further the furthest thing from his mind. I wonder if Joseph is the biological father, because there's a big. He thinking about, oh Lord, I'm toast. He ain't thinking about if his girl's messing around behind his back. He ain't thinking about his grandma. I wonder what my grandmama is doing right now. He's weeping and gnashing of teeth. He's not asking for a cup of water from Lazarus to cool his tongue, which proved that Luke 16 is a parable. He's weeping, and if you want to know the definition of weeping and what does weeping and gnashing of teeth mean? This right here. This is weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, if that ain't weeping and gnashing of teeth, I don't know what the hell is. And all you jakes out there, you got the word. This gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, and then the end shall come. So when the end comes in America, because America's nothing but a 5,000 square mile Tesla. That's all it is. It's a Tesla that hit a bank and burst on fire, and he was caught up in there. All right. So anybody's questioning what the former One West is, they're on point as what they're saying. We're not coming against the IUCPK because majority 95 to 98% of the stuff that we teach is the same stuff that ISUPK teach. It's the same stuff that Sakari teach. There's certain points they go off on. And this is not one of them. So this guy's a persona non grata. If he doesn't get his act together and he doesn't slip on a banana peel and break his neck, if he doesn't choke on the chicken bone, if he doesn't take the shot to counteract the disease X, if he doesn't take the charagma, if he takes a charagma, he's gonna wind up in that gigantic Tesla, weeping and gnashing of teeth. Guarantee you, if this man is not one of the elect and he winds up in that Tesla, he's not gonna be thinking about, I wonder if Joseph is a biological. He ain't gonna be thinking like that. He's gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So we don't worry about these guys.
I feel like both are compelling. So it's like, so when I get done talking to anybody, I want the people to have a decision. Was the argument proved?
Well, it's not about a decision. Man's goings are of the Most High, and how can a man then understand his own way? It's not you about having a decision or not. The ones that come into this thing and so-called make a decision, they don't really make a decision. The Most High opens up their mind to receive it. It's not about us trying to get every Israelite to accept this thing, because the majority of our people in America are not going to accept it, and they're going to wind up in that Tesla.
Proven from a biased force that Joseph was not the biological father, or he was. I think the word.
So I guess a question I would have is: are you only staying in the New Testament or something?
No, we can do Old Testament, but I just like.
No, I'm not asking if I'm going to do it. I'm asking: are you only staying in the New Testament?
To prove my argument, yeah, because I'm dealing with the fulfillment.
And you're not going to prove nothing. You're not going to prove a damn thing, man. And I wouldn't see. This is 5 minutes. A little over 5 minutes have gone by. 5 minutes and 12 seconds, I believe. I would have been about the 35 second mark to the minute mark. I would have been got rid of him. I would have put the. I said, you want to have a debate? 100 racks.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Are you the brother that used to host them little chats on a free conference line call?
That I do some Clubhouse. Yeah, I get around.
But before Clubhouse.
Yeah, free conference call. Yeah, I do some of those.
You got it, Cap.
So no, but the reason why I'm saying that is because if it sounds like you saying you only want to deal with the New Testament and not
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that to prove my argument, all I need is New Testament. So if you brought up Old Testament to debunk my New Testament argument, I have no problem going Old Testament with you.
Okay, so demonstrate to me, because like if I read Matthew 1 and 22, it says, now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of by the Lord by the prophet, saying, behold, a virgin. Is that not using the Old Testament? Like, wouldn't we have to know where this is said in the Old Testament?
Yeah. So let's say if you wanted, okay. So if you wanted to like break it down, because that would be dope, because that is the Isaiah 7:14 is one of the major prophecies that leads to the virgin birth fulfillment. So if you wanted to do it like that, say, all right, well, let's discuss Isaiah 7:14, where it all started, pretty much. Like that's a clear.
That's not where it started, though.
No, I don't know that's why I say it's more of a clear cut prophecy. Like this is like more well known.
Okay, so this is the individual's page, as you can see. Okay, he's Captain Zarek versus Unbiased weigh in. See, this is like borderline entertainment. Okay, I don't know if this is actually him. Let me see.
So last week we went over Christmas as a false pagan birth of the Messiah. So what Sister Carol wanted to do this week was go over the birth of Christ, whether it was immaculate or not.
Okay, he got that spirit on him. Please bear with me, y'all. I'm just. Okay, these. Okay, I guess these are his videos. Okay, this Unbiased pulls up on Polite. Let's see what this is all about.
Go to the next slide. Antibacterial soaps. Here we go again. And just like I said on the previous video, I said, hey, people are taking antibacterial soap, wiping down the arms of the chair, wiping down the chair, wiping down the table. When no one's looking, wiping their ass, hoping they don't get the virus. No way. But here's the problem with that. But if you're going to use soap, which you should, I'm not
Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from? Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, it's Unbiased Sports.
Oh man, this is the dude Unbiased Sport Polite, and I know he got a lot of questions for you, brother.
Nah, I have maybe one question or two. I just had a question for one thing he said. That's all.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Polite, when you said triclosan, that's in soap and different things. Do you believe that triclosan is in any soaps or any products in America today?
Do I believe it's in any products?
Yeah, or any soap.
Yeah, they make a, well, what I say is I buy products that reaffirms that it's not there in it. So I haven't exactly been looking for products that has it, but what I do is look to see if the product says does not have it. Like, so you're not really obligated to put, it's not.
One thing this brother shouldn't be talking about is soaps. He ain't talking about no soap. He shouldn't be talking about no soaps, given to where he's at. Don't drop the soap. And you a tall brother, so it's a long way down to get that soap. That's one thing you shouldn't be talking about is no goddamn soap. And I know they ain't giving you no biological, probiotic or whatever soap. They giving you prison soap. You says on the bar, prison soap. That's all you got. You ain't got a vegetarian. I don't know what's going on, but basically he's a persona non grata. After they jailed his ass, ain't nobody talking about him no more. It's like he never existed. So now you get where this guy's coming from. You know, Prophet Muhammad White debate. He's almost like you can say a professional debater. Okay, he's not pushing, he's not pushing Israel. He's just a guy with a guy with an opinion.
Throughout Israel and the churches, like they're going to go to Isaiah 7:14 as a thorough, the major prophecy
Right.
for the virgin birth. So I have no problem if you want to start there first, and we.
No, I'm not saying I want to start there. I just wanted to show that example. I want to show one more. In John 1:45, when it says, Philip found Nathanael saith unto him, we have found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write. Wouldn't we have to go to where Moses spoke about Christ?
If you wanted to, yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, ain't that what they were doing in the New Testament? They were certifying Christ in the New Testament by what was written in the Old Testament.
Exactly. Good point to the captain. Exactly. Because he's saying he's a Messiah are based upon the fulfillment of the Old Testament. You understand? And Luke 4, I believe it's Luke 4, I'm not going to go to it. He opens up the scroll, reads out of Isaiah 61, and he closes the scroll, and he says, today this has been fulfilled. When he said that, he didn't say, I'm the Messiah, by the way. He said, today this has been fulfilled. So they knew. They said, oh, this guy's saying he's Messiah. Let's throw his ass off a mountain. And that's what they attempted to do. People didn't welcome our Lord with open arms. So you can understand. Sorry
even Christ said, it is written of me, referring to the Old Testament.
Right. So there has to be a fulfillment. Right. So we could read prophecies all day long. It's going to come down to how was it fulfilled?
Okay, so I think I'm thinking maybe I got the light bulb now. So your position is that the prophecies, of course, was written in the Old Testament. It was fulfilled by God making Mary pregnant without a man touching her.
Right.
Okay.
No, that's wrong, because what kills that is the New Testament, the Matthew 1. It gives you the genealogy of Joseph. So he had to come from the lineage, the root and offspring, going back to David. The only way that can happen is if Yahushai's great grandfather, is King David through Joseph. This is why you want to have a debate, 100 racks and Edomite Christian scholars. No peanut gallery.
Then my position is God made Mary pregnant with a man touching her.
Okay, yeah. So that's what we disagree at.
And then right, that's where we disagree at. But then you would go throughout, I'm assuming only the New Testament to prove your case. I would go out through the whole Bible to prove my case. Am I hearing you right?
So yeah, because if we're talking about okay, so prophecy is definitely going to be dated to the Old Testament, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
But the fulfillment is hands down in the New Testament. It's not in the Old Testament. The actual birth and the pregnancy is going to be
Right. The pregnancy
right.
and the birth is in the New Testament, correct?
Right.
So if the initial title you said is Jesus, the biological father of Joseph, the only thing you don't want in there is the prophecy part because you want people. It's almost like you're trying to handicap me, whereas I want to balance. So as I'm listening to you talk, you say,
And that's what vocab does. He handicaps you. He attempts to handicap you. That's why it's a waste of time dealing with vocab. Because he wants to, well, it's called straw man argument. He'll ask you about, he'll ask you, give me a second. He'll go into a topic dealing with something like he did the challenge with the debate with Captain Zariak about the virgin birth. Now, if you said, well, who did the Messiah come for? He said, we're not dealing with that. So why have an argument? I can say, well, I agree with you, brother. I agree with you. I agree with you that Mary and Joseph never had sex. Okay, now what was the purpose of the Lord? Well, we're not talking about that. That's that's what they want to do because they can't. Overall, they can't beat us. It's like having a boxing match. You got an injured right arm, so you can't throw the right hand. And the guy says, "I want to have a boxing match with you, but you got to tie your left hands behind your back." You first of all, you see that he's injured, so that's a handicap right there. Then you're gonna say you got to tie your left hand behind your back, and then we can box. It's going nowhere. And then you'll say, "See, I beat him." That's why you shouldn't waste your time. This is a complete waste of time. This is going no. We were not edified, by this back and forth for 8 minutes.
say, yeah, but Matthew's 1, yeah, people could bring that up because everybody knows Isaiah 7:14. But the problem that I have with that is everybody doesn't know that the prophecy does not start with Isaiah 7:14. Even
And if you go to Isaiah 7:14, you have to go into the Hebrew. Then you got to go to Matthew 1, where it speaks about the virgin. It's a completely, the word is parthenos, which means that an actual virgin that's never been touched. The word shouldn't be there. The word that should be there, I forget the word. Let me find it. Let me go woman. I should go girl. Let me go to woman. Let me go to woman. In the New Testament. That's why you got to go. You're not going to get the full understanding if you don't go into the Hebrew. And it's not about, well, do you know fluent Hebrew? No, I don't know fluent Hebrew. I used to speak it. I had about 350 words. I can hold conversations back in the day when I used to teach it. But if you go to another country and you go to a restaurant, you open up the book, the translated book, and you read out of the translated book, and you might memorize some of the stuff and I did that when I went to Mexico. I spoke enough Spanish where people understood me. Did that mean that I speak fluent Spanish? No. They said the woman was a Greek. I don't want to deal with that one. By the way, the woman was a Greek. She was an Israelite. For you out there. And behold, a woman of the city. Okay, let me try a woman in Luke 7 44. The word is, let me let you hear it.
Strong's G 1135, Gune. Gune.
Gune. That should have been in there. Could have been another word, but that should have been in there. Not Parthenos. It says a woman of any age, whether a virgin, untouched, or married, whether she had sex, she's a woman of a certain age, or a widow or a wife of a betrothed woman. A betrothed woman actually is a woman that's engaged to be married to a man. There was when they did the ceremony, consummated, then they became husband and wife. What Joseph did by the law, he raped Mary. That's why he tried to hide it. She didn't try to hide nothing. He did. They don't give you the backstory, but I believe Joseph had a big enough house where he had a guest house, which has a separate entrance to the main house. So when you read in the scriptures that the guests came to your house, they stayed at the guest house. The super rich do that now. They have a guest house. You can't go into the guest house and there's a door that leads you into the main house. You got to leave the guest house to walk over to the main entrance of the main house. So he probably went in there to give her food, and he saw how she was developed, and he couldn't help himself. We don't know. That's why she didn't hide herself. She said, I got to hide myself. I'm pregnant. He was the one, oh, she's showing. Let me hide her. Put it away privately, man. Hide her. Now let's go to Matthew. Matthew 1. Behold a virgin. Let's see what the word there in the Greek is. Parthenos. Parthenos. She was a gone, not necessarily a Parthenos, a virgin, a marriageable maiden, a woman who has never had sexual intercourse with a man. And that shouldn't be there. The fulfillment is Batwala. So let's come on back. I'm spreading this out. Please forgive me. I'm going to give you the precepts too. I'm going to breeze through the precepts.
Even though that's what they think. The prophecy of Christ starts with Deuteronomy 18 and 18, 2 Samuel 7 and 12. So in the debate, you actually trying to bring up.
Let me go to 2 Samuel's. 2 Samuel's 7 and 12. See what that says. Wait a minute. And over days be fulfilled, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. You gotta do a lot of explaining for that. You have to say that there's reincarnation, Solomon coming back. So you gotta do a lot of explaining on that. That's why I went to it. If you don't understand, go back to the root words. You're not going to get the whole story. I was watching this video. And I definitely came to the conclusion. I said this before, that the so-called Bishop Nathaniel had some backdoor deal with some mysterious group, and he was told, we're gonna set you up, but you can't use the name of the Father and the Son. And these guys went around the world with every Christian, every scripture proving that we don't know the name or we shouldn't be using the name. Where there's scriptures that cut all the scriptures that they put up. The sisters came up, or what about the name? And we got to use the name to be saved. So he said, "Give me one scripture." He knew that the sister wasn't versed in the scriptures. Then he pulled up Isaiah, saying pretty much saying, prove. You got to prove what you're saying. You make a statement. You got to prove it. Well, one precept that came to mind in the New Testament is Romans 10. Romans 10 verse 13 on down, where it speaks about the name, call on the name. Then they'll say, well, what is the name? And see, we don't know the name because the name. So definitely, Bishop Nathaniel, because he had a meeting, I believe it was 2010. He came on YouTube in 2006. So 4 years later, he had a meeting where he said, we're going to agree not to use the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai. And it seemed like after that, that's when he started to blow up. So we believe strongly that he made a backdoor deal. Same thing happened with the former One West with Comfy. When Comfy came into the leader position, all of a sudden they didn't know the name of Yahweh. They didn't know. Oh, first they didn't know the name of Yahweh Shai. Then they didn't know the name of Yahweh. So it's something in that name. And the Most High Paul wouldn't make the statement about in Romans 10 about calling on the name if we don't know the name. It doesn't make no sense. The Most High is not Rumpelstiltskin. So a lot of these guys have made deals, backdoor deals.
The real information as opposed to misleading, which I don't want to accuse you
And if you made a deal, you're going to wind up in that Tesla.
of that, but that would have.
Well, because what happens is this.
And one second, Unbiased. To the caller that's on the line, we're going to come to you in a sec. Unbiased, if you got time, do you have time or you in the run?
Yeah, I got time. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can I just take this call? And you ain't got. All right, no sweat. We're just going to bring the call on and then Unbiased.
So here we got 9 minutes, 39 seconds that we have learned nothing. Just a back and forth. Let me give you some precepts now. First precept. Let me do this. Give me a second here. Let me do it this way. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Most High. View chapter, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity, unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. They're going to wind up in that Tesla, weeping and gnashing for teeth. And when you're in that Tesla engulfed in flames, you can't say, "Oh, I got it wrong. I get it right now." Both sides, the damage is already done. Next precept. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. If you can't get it, that means you're not of the elect, which makes you lost. In whom the God of this world, the white man, have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of the Messiah, which is the whole book, behold, I come in the volume of the book is spoken of me, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. So if you can't get it, the Most High made it where you can't get it. 1 Corinthians 14 and 38. But if our gospel be, if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Hebrews 5 and 12. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teacher again, which be the first principles and oracles of the Most High, and are become as such as need of milk, and not of strong meat. The great doctrine, for example, was strong meat. You had a lot of these Israelite groups choked off it. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are full age, even those who be by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Malachi 3:16. What is that? 2 Timothy 2 verse 15, if I'm not mistaken, or 3 verse 15. 2 Timothy. Let's try 3. Or 2. That's a good one too. And that from a child that know the Holy Scriptures, which shall be able to make thee wise unto salvation. Two verse 15. Study to show thyself approved, a workman he have not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Isaiah 6 and 9. And he said, go and tell these people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. That's talking about the ones that are not of the elect. Ephesians 4 verse 18. Let's see what that says. Having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart. You can't get it because the Most High made it where you can't get it. Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For like Sarnetta, you shouldn't be with Sarnetta, period. Because he's an unbeliever. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? You can read the rest. Oh, well, 17 verse, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith Yahweh, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. These 2/3 are unclean. Revelation 21:8. Let's see what that says. But the fearful and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the Tesla. We still know it's lake, but I say in the Tesla which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The lake. We know it's lake, but I put in the word Tesla. It says, shall have their part in the Tesla, which burneth forever and ever. It seemed like he was in that car weeping and gnashing of teeth forever. Most High kept his spirit hovering in that fire. He was supposed to been give up that ghost. Fearful thing. Come in the realm of the Most High. He that believeth, John 3:18. He that believeth on him, he that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he that hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son. So you got to believe in the name. How can you believe in it if you don't know his name? And when you click on this, onoma, which is Greek for name. Name, proper name. Now you have titles, but you have an actual name. Almost finished. Hebrews 3 verse 12. Forgive me for going long. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living power. Let's go to Proverbs 24 and 20. Then I'm going to close it. You got 1 Corinthians 6 verse 9 to 10. You got Luke 12 verse 46. For there shall be no reward to the evil men. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. And that's talking about Esau first and foremost. My son, fear thou Yahweh and the king, and meddle not with them that are given the change. If you're a former One West Israelite, we always taught that the name of the Most High is Yahweh, his son's name is Yahweh Shai. If you change that, that means you guilty of this scripture right here. Meddle not with them that are given the change. Let's look up the word meddle. The word is Irab. Ooh, this is interesting. To pledge, exchange, mortgage, engage, occupy, overtake for, give pledge, be or become surety, take on pledge, give in pledge, to take on pledge, go surety for, to give in pledge, to exchange. If you don't use a name, you have a meeting, tell them not that we don't know the name, and you're gonna get racks upon racks. you're gonna get a nice check for it. To exchange, to pledge, to exchange, pledge, to have fellowship with. So what does it mean? Meddle not with them that are given the change. It means meddle. It says, and don't deal with anybody that took a bribe. Don't deal with them. If they change, they change their gospel a little bit, even by 1 point. They took a bribe. They took a bribe. One more, Luke 12:46. Let's see what that says. Then you got 1 Corinthians 6, verse 9 to 10. You can read that. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Luke 12, verse 46. The Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him asunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. The portion of the unbelievers is to be put in that Tesla, the lake of fire, which is a miracle on fire. Anyway,